We're live. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello,
Hello, hello,
Simon. Hello,
hello,
Jack. How are
hello.
you?
Nope.
Very
You
well.
I'm good. How are
yeah,
you?
I'm good, mate. I'll start by just explaining the banner. Okay, so for each week that Liverpool haven't won the league, I'm going to put the banner up in support of the team that's playing them. So
Oh,
either today or tomorrow, Crystal Palace are playing them. So this is, hopefully this will be a good luck charm for every team that plays them, so that they defeat them, and slowly but surely, this huge unassailable lead that they have will diminish over the last 9 games, and Man City will win the league. Even though I'm a Man United fan, that's the dream here.
You're willing to take the hit?
I'm big time. I'd rather. Oh, that's a big. I'd rather Man U win the league, Leeds get promoted. Man City win the league, Leeds get promoted, and I don't know what other team hate Man United. Pretty much every team, really. Man City win the Champions League as well, and Man United finish in the bottom 4, not 3, rather than Liverpool win the league. So this is our support for Crystal Palace. Eagles, we're bringing the Eagles. Okay, so let's talk, let's get to business then, gentlemen. So today we are talking fat loss and nutrition. I think we got more questions on this than any other topic we've brought up. So I thought we'd start with calories. Calories, yeah. So
what are they?
What are they? Well, yeah,
magical.
What are they?
I think I heard that they were magical beings that change form dependent on what time of the day it is.
Yeah, so at night time.
At night time they're full of energy that you can't burn.
Yeah, exactly.
And at daytime they're energy you can burn. So if you eat at night time, it makes you gain weight.
Yeah. I mean, that is the rule, right? Yeah, but in all seriousness, why don't we just, again, everyone probably knows this, but I think it's good to, well, everyone should know this, but it's good to visit it and just talk about the calorie in versus calories out. We all know that if you consume more calories than you burn, you're going to gain weight, and if you consume less calories than you burn, then you're going to lose weight. So that's kind of the what we're aiming for if we're looking for weight loss. But obviously, with a lot of other variables there that make it easier, make it healthier. So let's start with things you can do. Well, let's start with you, Simon. What would you do from point A with a client?
From fat loss?
From fat loss, yeah. We'll talk fat loss today and maybe touch on other subjects. But
the first thing I normally do is get them to stop eating for 2 weeks, because it gets you results immediately.
Yeah.
Like, and if you want, obviously on the Instagram stuff, if you want results, like that's quick, but like that's only my own personal training. The first things first is the question we always get asked is like, oh, I just don't know how many calories I'm burning. Let's find out. That's what I want to do, because I don't know. They don't know. Nobody has any clue. So let's just track your food. So I give people 2 weeks to track their food, and a full 2 weeks. I used to do 3 days, but 3 days they could choose on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then nail themselves from Friday to Sunday. So 2 weeks allows you to be able to see their pattern of eating, the types of food they're eating, the times of the day they're eating, and some of the context in which they're eating the food in. Stressed, time, no time, whatever, on the go. And then over that 2 weeks, you'll be able to build up an average calorie burn. Now, with that, track their weight for the 2 weeks, as many times as they can weigh themselves in a 2-week block while they're eating the food, because that then will tell me if their weight's staying the same with this average calorie breakdown that I will do at the end. Then we'll gauge somewhere in a ballpark figure what they're burning per day. Now, that is still a lie, because people lie, don't they? People, as soon as you start tracking food, you start being like, oh shit, I'm not going to eat that donut. I can't tell him, but I had like 4 bags of biscuit yesterday. Oh, Jesus. So you're still, I always find people will probably lose weight in the 2 weeks, but I don't care about that. I just want to see, because the patterns. And then from there, I'll be able to build up a picture of being like, all right, so you're kind of eating about 2,000 calories, let's say, ballpark in it. What's the first thing I will do? Reduce by 200. It's as simple as that. Like sometimes, and this is all very dependent on the person, because some people do not want to track calories. Some people do not want to look at write their food down all the time. Otherwise, I'm going to a food diary. But let's say if you are calorie tracking and just getting into the immediate, I will drop your calories by 200, and then I will see what the hell's happening after that. If you start losing weight rapidly fast, I bring the calories back up. If you're not losing weight, I bring the calories down.
Okay, so just talk to me quickly. Sorry to interject there, Simon. Just talk to us, the guys, quickly about why you would bring the calories back up if the rate of the weight loss is too quick.
Because when we were chatting to Lee, especially last time, the last thing that we want to do is lose muscle, and especially when people who have just started with me don't have any muscle to lose. Now that is so important, because they already don't have me, you and Jack are fine. We've got muscle. We're going to lose some in a weight loss, like in a calorie deficit, but we minimize that. But with these guys, it's just all about trying to sustain muscle mass, make them lose weight efficiently. And the real plan behind this whole thing is to eat as much food as possible while still losing weight. Why would you rather eat as little as possible and still lose weight? Well, so there's makes no sense there. And one way you've got more cards to deal with, you've got more changes you can have. The other way you face psychological problems, hunger issues, weird food cravings, and new habits that just are really hard to wipe out then, So I want to eat as much food as possible while losing as much weight as possible. And then as time goes on, we adjust and we adapt. But that's it. Track your food for 2 weeks. I cannot tell you how valuable that is. Then start making a reduction there. Very, very small reduction.
Would you always start by a reduction of food, or would you also add a increase in output immediately, or is that a card you play?
It would be food first, because let's say I'm on a nutrition hype. If they're coming to me, we're already doing the exercise, so I'm going to assume that they're moving more. Just for the fact that they're training with me. And then I'll play the card of how many steps a day are you doing? How much are you moving in your everyday life? What exercise are you doing outside of the stuff that we're doing? But mainly first is just control the food. Now, I don't care about protein. I don't care about fat. I don't care about carbohydrates in this phase, because it is so far away from that person's scope of view and their knowledge. And it's more confusing. All I need to do is control a number. And when they can get a number controlled, and when they can actually figure out what the hell they're eating, I can say, we need to eat some more protein. That's it. It's it. Because how many people have come to you and be like, what macro should I eat? I'm like, do you know what a macro is? Yeah. Well, no, but I don't know. Exactly. So let's wait until we get there. But you know what a calorie is? We all get calorie tracking apps. If I say to you have 1,800 or somewhere thereabouts, that's all you need to worry about, because you will lose weight. And especially if you're really big, you'll lose even more weight a lot faster, and you worry about the protein later.
Yeah, get the motivation up, get the results.
Yeah, the most important thing about weight loss is getting weight loss. It's really hard to lose weight. It's really hard emotionally, mentally, physically, yeah, but the emotional and mentally part come into that a lot more. People do not want to stop the things that they've enjoyed doing for the entire time. It's got to the point where they want to lose weight. Yeah, they didn't gain weight because they wanted to. They gained weight because the habits they enjoyed led them to this point. And there's us now trying to tell them to change the habits that they really like.
Yeah, because we all know. I mean, most people who we talk to understand what healthy food is, understand what unhealthy food is, understand what high calories. So, often that isn't the issue, is it? Often it isn't the issue of, well, I know that's high calorie and I know that isn't. So what is it that's driving them to eat this way? And it's their habits, isn't it, that they've picked up over their lives. Yeah. So
somebody said something to me once, and it's really fun. It's really fun. Oh my God, it's the most fun thing you ever said. No, but it hit the nail on the head. They're like, you don't always have to look at your speedometer, but if you keep getting speeding fines, it's probably time to start looking at it.
Yeah.
And that just means that let's say, how many people come to you? I've just tried everything. I've tried to lose weight. I've tried every diet under the sun. No, you haven't. And if you did, you didn't do it because you didn't get the results, or it didn't fit your lifestyle, or you didn't enjoy it, whatever, but you didn't. All diets do the exact same thing, which is reduce calorie intake. So if you keep trying diets out and you keep not losing weight, maybe it's time to track your calories and really figure out what's going on, and then do it for a small period of time, because it will take you no time at all to start figuring out that donuts have a lot more calories than chicken. Yeah. And eating red meat with loads of fat in it is going to be a lot more than eating lean turkey or lean beef. Do you know what I mean? All these things you'll just naturally start building up. Oh, that croissant was the same as my 5 eggs this morning. Yeah. You know, it's just one of those things.
Yeah. And would you encourage people early on? I know you talked about not mentioning macros, but would you encourage people early on to go towards, you know, whole foods or single ingredient foods as much as they can? Or is that still something that you'd
do you know what? I would, and I used to eat more. I used to eat a lot more, but as life goes on and as like you start realizing that people don't care as much as you want them to care about things like this, because the reality is we should all be eating single ingredient foods, that we make meals ourselves that have the most nutrients in them and are going to treat our bodies well and deliver all the nutrients that we need to survive. The key thing is get the result. You get the result first, you start losing weight first, you start then changing and implementing. Can we just try and add some more vegetables in here, because it's going to bulk out your diet, it's going to do this for your stomach, it's going to supply you with a load of vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals, and everybody will be willing to adapt as time goes on. But unless somebody is a real natural vegetable eater, but there's things slipping in their diet that's taking them over, I won't focus on that. I don't. How about you guys?
No. I wouldn't. First stage, I'd do exactly the same thing with everything you said in the first stage, but I wouldn't talk about actually what's going in. Probably first 6 weeks, maybe. Yeah. Just because, like, they're going to be getting results and it's fine, and they're going to be doing more. So just why change something when it's working? So just keep going until you start to see, okay, now you can educate them within those 6 weeks. Just talk to them, lay a foundation of everything from a coach's point of view. And then you can start, once you've got a bit more buy-in, then you can start adding in, okay, we might need to change this certain aspect of this meal, like one meal at a time, like breakfast mainly, normally.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like you say, step by step, not chucking in all the information, because it can be information overload, especially with nutrition.
Macros and all that, but people...
well, we think we're the only people talking to them, but then they go and read all this stuff from emails they get from social media and stuff, and then you just don't want to blow their mind with all this stuff. Yeah. So just very slowly feeding it in.
Keep it simple, basically. Yeah, I think I would. What I would probably do is have I tend to get them to give me a food diary before I see them. Simon and I, we started doing that, didn't we, about a year or so ago? Get them to, if you can, for a food diary to us by email, so we can review it before we see them. The reason I do that is because I like to get an idea of what they like to eat. So, you know, essentially, if I can keep the stuff that they like in.
Yeah. Well, that's half the battle. And then how many cookie cutter programs? Like, I could write anybody a fat loss nutrition thing now. So I want you to have 3 eggs for breakfast and curly kale and onions. And then for lunch, I want you to have chicken, vegetables with 50 grams of rice. And then for dinner, I want you to have white fish and vegetables only. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Everybody lose weight. Everybody in the entire world will lose weight.
Pretty rapidly as well. Yeah. The one thing I will do is I will try and even from the early stage, again, I'll encourage them to just get the intake down first. But I will say, look, these foods here, it will be hard. You'll be able to eat more of.
Yeah.
However, these foods, and I know you like them, you can do it, but just be aware that you'll feel like you're eating a lot less. So that's, I wouldn't be on their case about it saying, you must eat all this stuff straight away. What I might say is just understand if you can implement some of this stuff, you might feel a bit more full, you might feel a bit more satisfied. So that's the only difference I would,
Depends on the people and the individual. Yeah, totally. Like, from our point of view, people will listen when they want to listen. You can talk to someone about, no, you need to do this. No, you need to do this. The same question comes back each week. You give the same answer. They look for a different answer every time.
Yeah.
You're like, no, it's still this answer because that's the way it works. Yeah. Some people like that. It happens, boom, they're in. Some people, it takes them a while because for whatever reason, but people listen when they want to listen. Eventually it will happen, but then the patience to stick around with it.
Do you know what I find the most valuable thing with the actual calorie tracking for a while now? I'm a massive advocate of it, and I understand why people don't like doing it because they think it's a ball ache. But going on your phone 8 hours a day and all you need is 10 minutes to put your nutrition down there where you can scan barcodes like you never could before. Back in the day, people used to just have to work it out and but the thing is that they will naturally start seeing what foods, like I said before, are really high in calories. Then they'll start seeing what foods that they value more in their diet and what ones that they can be like, you know what, that coffee does shit all for me. And that's 230 calories. I would rather have more potatoes, or I'd rather have some cheese there, or I'd rather have a 2 glasses of Prosecco there. So then you start playing that game in your head where you're like, you know what, I know I love that food, but it's just not giving me what I want. I'd rather have this instead of like wasting all that, because it does nothing for me. It's like a snack.
Yeah.
It's a natural selection.
It's so valuable to then refer back to, like, I always talk about it from a performance point of view, how they feel. But say, like, depends what equipment you've got. But at work, we have a body scanner. Is it the most reliable thing in the world? No, it's not going to. But it gives a consistent feed. But then you can be like and go, okay, this week you went up, because guess what? Weight fluctuates. It's not just a simple thing. Yeah. And you can be like, having that information where you've actually put in the time to record it. You can be like, oh, okay, well, what have you eaten over the last 2 days? Okay, you had more alcohol than you did over the last 2 days. Oh, look, your water's up. That makes sense. So then you can relay it back. Whereas if you don't have that information, you're like, oh, my weight's gone up, my water's up. What's that all about? Well, I don't know. We have no idea.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
Cool. So that's the first. Let's move on to the next one here, guys. Let's talk about some stumbling blocks for people. So someone asked me, I think as a joke, but actually it turned out to be a pretty good question, I think, because they literally asked me, why doesn't it work? So I think we should go through. Well, why doesn't dieting and weight loss work, right? So obviously this person has tried it in a way.
Tried what?
Well, this is so it's tried various things in a way, and it hasn't worked for the person. So I think we should talk about reasons why. And I think for me, one of the main reasons why is weekends. So we've talked about it with all our clients, I'm sure. And if you're listening, this might strike a chord with you. How many times have you seen someone's food diary and they've been solid Monday to Friday on the changes that you've made, and then Saturday and Sunday, not only do they ease off a bit, they ease off massively, and their calories go up, so much that they've undone the 5 days. So that's one thing that's probably the biggest thing I see is, that someone puts themselves in a calorie deficit for 5 days, and then for 2 days they're in super surplus. That it cancels out, and you don't lose weight in 5 days. In 5 days,
unless you eat no calories.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's over usually about 2-3 weeks if you're being sensible.
Yeah, 2 weeks is a good marker though.
Yeah. So what I find people do is they break themselves even. They're so
constantly
low.
I think with that, obviously you would look, okay, well, what's happening on the weekend specifically, but then you can also throw it back the other way, depending on what they're doing. Are they trying to do too much within those 5 days?
Are they too low? Yeah.
They're so hungry.
They need to have that blow up because they're so miserable being beaten for like 5 days. So it's not always specifically what you do on the weekend. It can be the other way around.
Yeah. That's that's such a fucking valuable point there. Somebody, we hear this magical 1,200 calorie number that somebody plucked out of their bum and just threw out into the internet, and everybody's like, oh my God, that must be the number to lose weight. It's not, because if you eat anywhere under 1,000 calories, you need medical supervision. All right. Medical supervision. This is not just like a loose term. No, you need to be supervised in case something drastically happens with your health. That's 200 calories away from that.
Yeah, it's very low.
But people might do 5 days of 1,200 calories and be like, my body's eating itself. And everything in me is trying to stop myself from eating. So the weekend, then they just go, wah! And then how easy is it to eat 4,000 calories of donuts and biscuits and alcohol and all that? You go to a McDonald's, and McDonald's Happy Meal is 1,500 calories. and that's a snack.
Bottle of wine, 900 calories, done.
Done.
So a good tip to counter that is exactly what Jack was saying is, I'm not going to get too close because you pointed out my hair gets all a bit funny when I'm back up from the screen.
Kim Jong-un style.
Yeah. So I was going to do something that I'm not going to do it then. Jack's point was really, really good. So if you're finding you're getting to the weekend and you're needing that, I'm so hungry, I need to blow out, put your calories up and I've done this actually with many people, put their calories up a little bit in the week. Tell them that they can have one treat a day or one food that they really like or a drink or whatever, and minimize that blowout on the weekend. Yeah, and that does work really well, and that creates a better habit, to be honest.
Yes, more flexible across the board rather than to blow out.
What would you rather do? So like when we go in calories, we're looking for a total number, aren't we? So like let's say you're eating 2,000 a day over the course of the week. That's 14,000 calories, isn't it? So that means you need to hit 14,000 calories. You could go and eat 1,000 calories a day for 4 days and then just eat the rest then in the next couple of days. It will work out the same, but what will make you happier and what is more sustainable? Could you do 4 days of really low calories and then control the other couple of days? Or will those couple of days lead you into massive binges, which is also laying down new bad habits of binge eating, so it's always that way. But going back to the question as well, George, when you're saying like, why doesn't it work? Tried the wrong system, man. Sometimes you just tried the wrong system. Somebody goes into keto, they've never done keto before. They don't really like women don't really like eating fat. They don't really like eating protein. That's my biggest struggle out of all female fat loss is getting them to have the right intake of protein. And ketogenic diets are all fat and all protein and no joy for them. So it could just be that you've choose the wrong path. Therefore, you didn't really stick to it. Then you kept veering off, but kind of coming back. You can't diet for 3 days and expect anything to happen when the other 4 days were a load of shit. Then this is the issue then. So, because again, bring it back. Every single diet out there is doing the exact same thing. Calorie deficit. Slimming World, Weight Watchers, ketogenic diets, low carbs, low protein, low fat. Does not matter. They're taking something away. They reduce the amount of food you're intaking. You just need to find the thing that fits your lifestyle. And it's something that is sustainable, because really nobody wants to keep losing fat. Nobody wants to keep going up and down the scales and have to keep going through that same protocol. So find the thing that you can stick to and just keep at it then.
Be consistent with it again.
Be consistent, that's it.
Yeah, so find something that you can stick to, because then it becomes easier.
If you hate it every day, if you think every day this is shit, immediately it's the wrong thing. Yeah. It's okay to hate it a little bit, because we're in a deficit, we're going to be hungry at times, that's fine. But if you just hate it all the time, change it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. If you give everyone, so let's say, I'll use myself as an example. You give me the ketogenic diet, I'm going to go to town and drink a load of cream. Do you know what I mean? Because I can drink cream. Do you know what I mean? Because I think, well, that's what, am I going to lose weight? No, because I just drank 2,000 calories. So
I always remember, man, I done the Poliquin, the information out there. Oh, nuts help you lose weight. Did they? Oh, did they? Because they don't. I'd rather eat sugar now than I have nuts because of the calorie intake. Nuts are health beneficial and they are really good, but they are not a good snack. I'm 100% going out my word on this. They are not a good snack.
You need that many.
Nobody has 5 nuts, and that's all you need.
That many. That many.
I was on the. I was doing a fat loss thing, and I was on ketogenic diet for 3-4 months nearly, and I was eating 150, 200 grams of nuts a day, being like, you know what? This is so hard to lose weight. That was 1,000 calories of nuts. I was just like, I'm hungry, nuts, because they're good for fat loss. That's where information, that's where I've taken a snippet of information and then just run with it, then thinking, somebody in a headline, nuts are really good for fat loss. Oh, I must eat more nuts. No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Please don't do that.
If you listen to what the guy was actually saying, he was much, it was much more controlled than that. So
it's like them body transformations, like what is it, P90X or something, P90X, help you lose, 10 kilos in 8 weeks. And then you go on there and like the programs are just half-assed cookie cutter programs that make you jump around all day. But they actually don't work because like if nobody follows the nutrition booklet that comes with it, which is basically meat and salad all day.
Yeah.
It's basically just like, if you ever looked at it, I've looked at a pack before, and it obviously it's just doing some like really dressed up workout, but the balls behind it all and why it works is if you follow the nutrition booklet, which is basically protein and veg for 3 meals a day, and stick to that.
The 1,200 calories. We're at the 1,200 calories again.
There we go.
So yeah. Anything else you want to add to that? So we're looking for things that restrict people's goals, really. So we said about the weekend. We've said about consistency, picking the wrong.
Patience. The other two things are patience and people's expectations. I think they think within 2 weeks they should have lost 20 kilos, and it's like, well, how long did it take you to put 20 kilos on? Bet you didn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. The same as anything. So patience. You need, especially with nutrition, there's so much, just as Simon said, it's so individual. Just because Karen on Facebook used this diet and she lost 5 kilograms doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for you. It doesn't work like that.
Karen.
So you have to, like, there's some things where you may start something for 2 weeks and be like, I hate this. It's like, okay, then when we change it. But you've got to know, you've got to give it some sort of time to know, okay, we need to make a change.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be like everyone does. You chop and change every 2 weeks because you're like, nah, it didn't work. You're like, well, you only gave it 14 days.
Yeah.
So,
and what would you say, Jack, like in terms of results wise, what would you be looking for in a client for fat loss?
So it depends on the individual. So I've had someone that loses 1 kilo a week and they have been since August.
But that's
like the end of the scale where it's like, this is a dreamland. I don't want this to end. And every time she goes on the scale, I'm like, please don't be less than 1 kilo, which is mad. Yeah. But then if you're losing 1 pound a week, 2 pounds a week, what? Dreaming. You're losing weight every week.
Yeah. There's 52 weeks in a year.
Yeah. That's a lot of weight across 6 weeks, across 6 months, across the whole year, like you said.
Yeah. It's insane.
People I think they go to and be like, oh, I didn't lose a stone or whatever a stone is. I don't know. That's old. But if you're losing a couple of pounds a week, dreamland. Keep going until you're like, there's 2, maybe 3 weeks where nothing's happened. There's a plateau. Yeah. Okay, we probably need to change something. We look at something. We add 1, 2 things in max.
Yeah.
And that's not suddenly going from, like you say, dropping from your first calories being like dropping another 800. Because then where'd you go after that? It doesn't work.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. 1 pound a week. Sometimes I go 1 pound every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just based off the fact that, like, if I can get a deficit and I can get somebody to lose some weight, then I'm happy consistently. I'm happy, and then you can change it because motivation changes with results.
Yep.
So the more results you get, the more motivated you are to make more changes. The less results you get, the less motivated you are to make some changes. It's just as nice and simple psychology, isn't it? If somebody like you said there, Jack, if somebody's losing 1 kilo a week, I guarantee that client turned into a dream client after a couple of weeks because they were like, I've been with you, Jack, for 4 weeks and I lost 4 kilo. What else do you want me to do? Well, actually, Sandra, I want you to eat 1 more raisin a day. 1 more raisin a day.
But the best thing is, we've hardly changed anything.
Yeah. Why would you?
We had the first calorie, like, this is what I want you to eat. I don't care what you eat. Just eat this number.
Yeah.
Carry on. Been tracking ever since. Fine. We went to 10,000 steps a day. That was the next change.
Yeah.
Then there was a plateau for 2 weeks. I was like, all right, let's try 15,000 steps a day. Still haven't touched her food.
Yeah.
I haven't said you need to eat this amount of protein, this amount of this amount of this. That's all we've done.
So you've got those cards to play still as well. Once the plateaus happen, you've got those.
Exactly, and we've said it before. Where the same with jumping up in weights on exercises is the same with calories, where they'll drop a little bit, and it's like, oh, I'm not losing as much as I want. So from 1,600 or whatever, they'll jump right down to the 1,200. Cool, yeah, you're gonna lose weight, like, because you're not eating anything. But what happens when you have that plateau? What do you do now? What, you're just not going to eat?
True. Yeah.
So you just stab yourself in the back. So patience, 100% is the biggest thing. and then also the expectations, not to expect that it's going to be like 5 kilos a week. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah. Well, George, what do you struggle with? Like, what do you ever have like a consistent complaint about fat loss, like something that you recognize a lot that you hear people struggling with?
I think it's not fast enough.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the biggest thing I hear, and and then then I'll break it down for them, and I'll be like, well, let's have a look at it, because someone might lose 2 pounds one week, and great, and then like Jack said just there, you could get a week where there's no weight loss, and often I'm saying, well, just chill for a week and let's have a look at it. So then I have to go into look. It can't be like that. You can't do that the whole time. It's not going to happen because weight fluctuates, A, and B, what you do week by week fluctuates. So one thing I found recently is someone was consistently hitting weight loss, and then all of a sudden super motivated, and then 1 week they didn't lose weight. They were like, boom,
gone.
What's happening? I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Found out that they'd eaten 4,000 calories on the Saturday and Sunday that week.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
getting loads of water.
Yeah. So my biggest thing with people is keeping them motivated when it starts to slow down and it starts to plateau. Is keeping the belief there that no, this is the right thing. I know you want to drop weight really, really quick, and also people's weekends. I find when there's a routine Monday to Friday, people are really
easy.
Really good at it. I do this, then I do this, then I do this. On the weekend, they're like, well, I'm just sat here, had my breakfast now. There's a croissant in the cupboard, and then it gets to the evening. They're like, I'll only have one drink, and then they have a bottle of wine and 2 gin and tonics. And then they do the same on the Saturday. They do the same on the Sunday, So getting to grips with people's weekends is something that, is something. And to counter that, what I do is a couple of things. First thing is, we talked about earlier, it came up earlier, where I try and say, look, have a bit more stuff that you like in the week, pick that up. So that's one. And the second thing is just give them a breakdown of, look, you got 15,000 calories to play with in the week. You're at 11,000 by Friday. So just remember that if you do 3,000 2 days, you're not only are you not breaking even, you're over that. So it's just, I have to break that down for them again. And it isn't always calories, as you know.
It's movement as well.
Yeah, it's also, it's also, I have to, sometimes it's portion control because people don't like you said, people don't like. What about you?
With movement, it can go the other way, where they, instead of doing anything about food, they're like, oh, I'll do another 3 sessions. Like, you already train 3 times a week. You don't need to be doing another 3 sessions, because that's 7 or 6 a week. That's madness. You're not
going to recover.
So guys, can I just say this out loud now, just so it's clear to everyone with regards to calorie burn, okay? So if you've got one of these things that shows you how much calories you burn in the hour, a certain proportion of that calorie burn, you would burn just stood there. Okay, so if you've burnt 600 calories in a session, you've probably only burnt an extra 3, because that 300, there's an extra 300 that within that hour you would have burnt just breathing and walking around. Okay, so you've got to get to grips with that. If you've burnt 600 calories in a session, don't then go and eat 600 calories or 700 calories in your next meal just because you did. Okay, so just get that. That's a really something I've been meaning to try and get in one of these, but we chat.
But it happens. It happens all the time. It really does. And again, going back to the diet thing and the self-sabotage that people have on themselves. Like if you go on my approach, which is like, a moderate 200 calorie deficit, which could be, dropping milk out of your teas in the day, and that's 200 calories over the course of a day or whatever. It's so easy to, like you said, on the Friday, Saturday and Sunday to gain that back. So if you've done Monday to Friday, let's say we get the Friday night and we have been the deficit 200 per day, that's 1,000 calories. What is 1,000 calories in food? Nothing. It's absolutely nothing. A large bowl of cereal, 300 calories. There we go. You have alcohol on that night, 300 calories. A pint of beer, or you have 2 glasses of wine, there's 300 calories. You're done.
One slice of Domino's pizza.
One slice of Domino's pizza. So what you end up doing is you're in the deficit for the 5 days, and then you've just ruined it on one day of heavy snacking or heavy eating. You've just done. So then you're like, I've just been trying so hard, and you might not be noticing it, but like it's these little things. I had a cupcake the other day. Like I was saying, the cupcake was 400 calories. There was absolutely none. It's gone. 2 mouthfuls, it's gone.
Yeah.
So that would have wiped out 2 days of my deficit just from that. So that's how important it is to actually stay on track when it comes to the weekends. Tell me this. So what is your top tips with fat loss? Like, what would you, like, if you had 3 tips, what would it be?
Keep food in that you like. So keep food in that you like. Otherwise, you're going to be craving it.
Yeah.
And like we said, I think if you restrict something that you really like, the first thing that's going to happen when you eat it is you're going to eat the world of it. So that's one. 2, I think track. Now, it doesn't have to be counting calories. You could write it down. And 3, I said things that you like, didn't I? Oh, that's the 2. I got 2 there. Jack, you go, and I'll think of a 3rd.
So I've already said 2, like the 2 that kind of went together. So the patience and expectations, that main one, and then the other one, I think for me, just because of experiences with your training, which not necessarily, it's not to do with food, it's not to do with nutrition, it's with your training, focus on what you're doing, like your training. So what are you actually getting better at? Forget about food in that hour. Forget about how many calories you're burning. Focus on that and the journey you go through that, and then that will just take care of itself, and then the food will be on top.
Yeah. Like that.
Because people, like we said it last week, people come in and like, I need to burn 400 calories in this session. It's like, why? Because why? Because you haven't done point 1, which is track. So
yeah, that would be the imagine that for designing a program for somebody who just wants to burn 400 calories. It'd be the easiest personal training ever. Right, what we're going to do today is we're going to do squats, bench press, chin up, deadlifts, burpees and kettlebell swings. But what we're going to do is we're going to do 20 reps of each, and we're going to have 30 seconds rest after all exercises are done, and we're just going to repeat that for the hour. Or we're going to do Prowler for 10 lamps with 10 seconds rest, and then we're just going to continue after the hour. Do you know what I mean? If it was only a calorie number, it would be the simplest session in the entire universe.
Yeah.
I think it's just like the simple bank account analogy goes so well. It's like, why would you want to focus on what you're spending when you have no idea what's coming in? You can't just go spend and have no idea how much you can actually spend.
Yeah. That is 100%. That is. If you were to go on mine, I think number 1 is be honest. Be honest with your trainer and be honest with yourself. If you have a trainer, be honest with him. There's no point in lying, because that means the information that he gives you off the back of that is going to be based on lies, and it's not right for you. But also be honest with yourself in terms of, like, if you've had a bad week, assess the week. You know what I mean? Just assess what you've done. Have a look. Did I stick to my diet? So I've been planning to drop calories. Did I go overboard? Actually, I did. 3 days this week I went out and had lunch, and I don't know what the hell. All right, then. Go back to number 1. You know what I mean? Go back and focus on consistency on that, what you've done, because being honest with yourself is just it's the thing that people lie to themselves all the time. How many times? I love vegetables. Eat vegetables all the time. Do you? Really? What else are you eating? And if you love vegetables all the time, because they weigh no calories, so what else are you eating on top of it? I don't care if you like vegetables, but like, please eat more of them and less of something else.
Yeah, less of the other things.
Just be honest with yourself. And then, like George said, I would 100% agree with that. Find the meals, because people only eat the same 10 meals. You know what I mean? Like, I only cook my dinners. There's probably 10 recipes I use currently, and there's probably even less than that. It's probably 4 or 5. And learn how to make them less calories. Every single meal, you could reduce the calories, you could reduce the fat, you could change the meat for a leaner meat, you could drop the carbs out and switch them for something that's a bit lower on calorie fronts, whatever. But it means that if you're keeping food in your diet that you really enjoy, the chances of you succeeding are going to be high.
Yeah,
really
and
high.
Little things like, changing to a lower calorie pasta.
Man, I'm telling you, corn pasta is just a genius idea. I eat 150 grams of corn pasta. It's 200 calories for 150 grams.
Yeah.
For 100 grams of normal pasta, it's 360 calories. It tastes the same.
There you go. You shaved 100 calories off without even changing a meal.
If I went for the 100-gram portion, the same, it's 150 calories less or more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, you do that over 3 meals, you're in a deficit of fucking 600 calories.
And you wouldn't know that stuff if you didn't track.
Yeah,
exactly. You would know.
So like olive oil, the amount of calories in olive oil.
Oh man!
Like, oh, we have olive oil. That's probably like 1,000 calories.
If you want to lose weight, just stay away from Jamie Oliver, because he seems to put like multiple layers of olive oil in. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the bread on this table. I'll put olive oil down first, and then we'll just olive oil over top, and then we'll put the bread on the salad, but we'll cover it with olive oil.
Yeah, he's also forgot what a tablespoon is.
Yeah, man, he doesn't. No chef knows what it is. Yeah. I'll tell you now, you guys, if you put oil in your pan and you can't see the bottom of your pan because there's oil over the top of it, you've gone too far.
Yeah.
It's worth it. So a teaspoon of oil is like 50 calories. A tablespoon is 120 calories. I put a tablespoon and I check it because I've just spent a lot of time tracking my calories, and it is such little amount of oil.
So small, isn't it?
Such a little amount of oil.
Yeah.
And then just being like, just bloop, you know what I mean? There's 300 calories. What? And you don't even notice it's there.
Yeah.
But would you rather have less oil and have a piece of cake after? Do you know what I mean? Would you rather have less oil and have a cookie or a glass of wine with your dinner? What would you rather have?
Yeah. All of a sudden, you're messing with things, and you can put things that you like just by changing something as simple as an oil. These are the things we can all do.
Simon, I got to go. Yeah, I got to go. Pleasure speaking to you all.
Thank you, Simon. I'm sorry. I think we'll do a second one on this. Next week is it's a big subject, so I think we'll cover, give people a bit more stuff that they can implement. Okay, have a good one, mate. Thank you, Simon. Goodbye. Goodbye. So, Jack, should we cover just one more?
Yeah, I think another tip would be to not follow Helen Robinson on Instagram, because the content she puts up is ridiculous.
She's listening.
Unbelievable. I see it all the time. God damn it, Helen.
I know.
Brownie. I would. Arts, curry, steaks, everything. It's like, God damn.
It's so nice though, isn't it? It's so
it's unbelievable.
Oh, it's literally so good. It's so good. I used to like it when she came into the gym and like there'd just be some cake there. I'd be like, right.
I still talk about her, like, what was it, the mince pie brownies.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable. Mince pies in brownies.
Because in my head I didn't think it would work.
Oh, it worked.
Yeah, but it worked beautifully, didn't it? Yeah. It's like, no, this is just a mince pie. This is amazing. This is amazing. So, Helen,
we didn't eat it. We just left it because we can't eat that stuff. But.
Yeah, well, I mean, I ate loads of it, if I'm honest. but it was Christmas, you know.
I ate it all.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, so, Jack, any tips for this? I've got a question here. Someone said they hate cooking, don't like cooking, can't cook. Any advice for this particular individual on how they can get into it makes it harder, right?
It makes it harder, but then it doesn't. Like, I don't particularly enjoy cooking. Like, I'm not. But then I don't think you need to cook massive, extravagant meals. Like, you're not there slaving for 5 hours. Like, all my meals take no more than half an hour, so 20 minutes. So just keep it simple and find things that work for you. I mean, you could go down the route of the fresh fitness food or macro meals or something like that. If you're like that level of the scale where you're like, I'm simply not going to be cooking.
You
could do something like that, or just have someone else cook for you. I don't know what the situation is, but like, either just find, like Simon said, he has 10 meals that he rotates, or however many meals he rotates. I do the same. So certain things, certain foods, I know what they are. I know how to cook. They take 20 minutes. Done.
I think with people who don't like to cook, I mean, cooking every day is hard work anyway, right?
It's boring. And washing up the crap that goes with it.
Yeah. I mean, so I think what I do for my lunches, every one of my lunches every week is I make a big batch of it. This is when I'm, in work. I make a big batch of it at the end of a week. So on Sunday, I'll make a big batch. That's my lunches taken care of. Fortunately, I get home and Sally's made me a dinner. And then, so all I've really got to take care of in the week is breakfast. So that's a good tip for everyone. So if you're someone,
and you can meal prep lunch and dinner. You don't just have to do lunch.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I would probably do that had I had I didn't have someone at home making me a nice dinner when I get back. For all the hard work that I've done in the day. So that's any other tips on that one, Jack? Any other tips? So like you said,
find certain like recipes that you like, keep it simple. Like for me, I'm really simple, but then it depends on the person. If they want really extravagant meals, then you're gonna have to do cooking. But if you can handle like super simple meals, so like a portion of protein, portion of carbs, and then 2 portions of veg, whatever, just stick to that sort of formula and go from there and just mix it up with what you do.
And I guess all foods now, like Simon was saying earlier, have got the calorie values on them. So if you really, really want to, you can get stuff that's kind of pre-made. Not that it's not encouraging that by any means, because we don't know what goes into ready-made foods, but you can control your calories that way, I guess. But like everything, you've got to stay consistent with it. If you do that, otherwise there will be no way. Anastasia just wrote six-pack dream ?
What?
I don't know what you mean by that, Anna. Six-pack dream ? I'll give you an idea. With a six-pack, I've probably only had a six-pack once a year, but not for the last 3 years.
Well, you have to get down to such an insane fat percent, especially for women.
Yeah. So,
you can do it, but it won't be very fun.
Yeah. Oh, well, it wasn't.
You won't feel great.
I didn't sleep well when I was,
really?
Well, man, I was so lean though. The two times I really did it, I was so lean, and I just found I was waking up every hour like I'm starving.
Really?
So
you're hungry, like you look good, but you'll be hungry.
Yeah. So I think both those times I did it slowly, to be fair, but I started in January and I gradually took the calories down and down and down and down. And by the time I got to August, I was pretty shredded, but pretty hungry and pretty tired all the time.
That's it. If you've got like kids running around and stuff, I couldn't think.
Yeah.
I have kids.
I just remember things being. I remember things being hazy. Just like I'm sat there, like Sally's saying stuff to me. I'm like,
sleepy as hell.
What? What? It's like, and she's like, George, I'm like, you talking to me? I thought you were, I can't, So six pack is, it's one of those things that, if you get lean enough, you'll kind of see an outline of your abs. And I think for most people that should be enough if you want to maintain performance and everything like that. So if you want to hunt that dream of a real shredded abs, you better be prepared to feel.
And it goes back to the point of expectation. This is what you should expect if you want to do that.
Yeah. So that's my take on that, and I hope that's helpful. Yeah. Okay. So couple of takeaway points before we conclude, Jack. Takeaway points for everyone.
So points. Make sure that your nutrition is individual to you. You can't just pluck something off the internet, like we said, and it will fit in and work perfectly for you. So nutrition needs to be individual. You need to have patience with it, and the main point of everything that we talk about is consistency as well. Consistency is key. Yep,
I would go with that as well. So I'd go consistency. I'd also make the point, like I made earlier, of try and keep your meals as close to the type of meals that you like, because you're much more likely to stay on track, and have a plan. Okay, even if it's a loose plan, have a plan of what you're going to do, because if you get to the kitchen and you're starving, you're like, oh, what am I going to do? It's very unlikely that you're gonna stick to the calories, because you haven't made a plan. Okay, so those are the three that I think I'm going to leave everyone with. So I think we should cover a bit more on this next week, but maybe we'll add in some nutrition for building muscle, weight gain. So kind of on the opposite scale there, but again, we'll touch on fat loss. And if anyone's got any questions between now and then, who's listening, just fire away and we'll get them answered. But Jack, thank you. I don't know who I'm going to have on the board next week, but
it depends.
Yeah, well, it all depends. I mean, if Palace lose, no, because they can't possibly.
Yeah, they can't do it this week. So is it next week? I don't know.
Yeah, so it's next week. If Palace lose and then they win next week, then it's over for me. So I've got two more. I've got 2 more weeks of this. So come on, up the Eagles. Collectively, everyone, just push towards the Eagles, and then every other team that's playing Liverpool from now until the end of the season.
Well, they play Man City When? After Palace or next week?
Yeah, so what we want is for them to continue to lose until they get to City, lose to City, because then the pressure would be really on.
Yeah, I imagine they choke. It would be hilarious.
Yeah, oh, I mean, it would be, it would be a dream. It would, I mean, I'd probably be happier if that happened than if Man United won the league, if I'm honest.
So, there's no chance of that happening. So.
Yeah, I mean, neither happening, let's be frank, So, but yeah, one can hope. One can hope. Thank you. Oh, someone liked it just as I said that. Someone literally liked it as I said that. Yeah, so whoever that must be a Man United fan. So thank you, whoever that was. All right, Jack, thank you. We will catch up with you next week. We will, like I say, continue this conversation. Thank you for everyone who was watching, tuning in. If you missed it, you'll catch us again on YouTube. Catch up with, if you missed some of it, you can catch the rest that you missed on YouTube. Look out for Simon's classes. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the core classes. I got the back health workout tomorrow, banded workouts on Friday, kettlebell workout. And next week, I'm starting my new phase of workouts, which is get yourself ready for the gym workouts. Okay. Prepare for the gym workouts. We don't want to be going in cold, guys, right? Don't want to be going in cold, do we, Jack? We don't want to be going cold, no. So look out for those, guys, and have a great week. Thank you, Jack.
See you later, man.
Bye-bye.